Hey guys, Michael Ketchen here with another episode of the Michael Ketchen Show, joined as always by Matthew Hitchcock.
How we doing?
And a good buddy of mine, someone I've seen his growth over the last, half decade, whatever it's been, Jeremy Beland of REI Freedom. How you doing?
Good. Pleasure to be here, my friend. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming in. Yeah, well, Shelly's here
Yeah,
too.
my wife's behind us.
The brains of the operation. She didn't want to get on it. She's back there making the deals.
I'm the face, she's the brains.
Yeah, you're just the eye candy, right? That's
Which is crazy because she's really the pretty face. I don't know why I'm the face, but hey,
you know
I'll be
what
out
it
here
is?
anyway.
It's all those gym workouts. They're paying off. You're getting after it. No, thanks for being here. And I was excited to get you on. We've been trying to schedule this for a bit because you're a busy man, my friend.
Yeah, and so are you. You know, trying to get two busy people in the same spot doesn't happen.
I think our assistants are ready to kill each other at some point.
I know.
I'm gonna be
But
on your
it's
show
all
in a
good. We
couple
make it
weeks.
happen eventually. That's what we do.
100%. So I wanted to get into today. One of the things I love about you is that they always say the riches are in the niches, and somehow you guys have figured out a way, as just great operators, what I think it comes back to be able to attack and be successful in a lot of asset classes. How many things are you currently investing in, and how many have you done? Rattle them off. What have you guys run through?
Yeah, so, we started out originally as wholesalers, so we do still a lot of wholesaling. Basically, our business model is direct to seller, distressed seller. We focus on single families and small multifamilies. We don't do the larger multifamilies like you guys do. I own a couple 5 families. That's about the biggest stuff that I own. We burr those properties. So, we look to burr small multifamilies. We've gotten into Airbnb, as we talked about before the show. That's something we want to get more into with the right opportunities. We flip, we wholesale, and we wholesale. It's kind of our business model. So we're very transactional in that aspect. When we started out, we wholesaled everything because we had no money, we had no resources, right? We didn't have private lenders or anything like that. But as time went on, we eventually found how to use other people's money and to start keeping some of these good properties that come along. So, we don't get into how many doors and how many properties we have. If a good opportunity comes, great. Sometimes we hold on for a property, it doesn't perform so well, we'll sell it off and try to take that money to reallocate it somewhere else. So always kind of moving and shaking. But yeah, single families and smaller multifamilies is kind of our focus.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. And how many, you've been in how many states now? How many markets?
Yeah, so we're in Florida, and we're recording this in New Hampshire, Mass, and this is our primary market where we originally started, and we're in Florida as well. But we had great success in Western New York for a while. We were there for a few years, had a lot of success wholesaling. We went into Wichita, Kansas for a while, had moderate success there. Then the person we were working with decided to leave us, and we just couldn't recover. And then we went to Las Vegas, and that was an epic failure for us. We did one deal there, but we've tried a bunch of different things. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't. Being in a lot of different areas for my business model doesn't always mean better. Scaling in our business model doesn't always mean better. So we're pretty simplified now. So we just focus New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and South Florida.
I like the honesty though that you had there. You were like, Las Vegas was an epic failure, but it wasn't something that discouraged you and been like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me.
No, you got to make mistakes, right? And I know a lot of people as a coach now, like a lot of people are afraid of making the mistakes. They're afraid of what's the outcome of that. And like, shit, I've made so many mistakes. I still make mistakes. We learn from those mistakes.
Absolutely.
And some of them are costly, right? You guys have probably invested a lot of money into coaching. I've made a lot more mistakes. The mistakes that I've made have cost me a lot more money, right?
Yeah.
And it still happens. But I'm not afraid of mistakes. I'm not afraid of losing money. I'm afraid of losing my investors' money, but I'm not afraid of losing my own money.
Very
right?
true. Very true.
So, we try to make the good decisions, but it's business. It's not going to be perfect. And it's real estate, right? There's certain things that are outside of our control. Like nobody could have really foresee the highest increase of interest rates in such a record amount of time the way they were, right? Sometimes we can't really see the recession before it happens, but it impacts us. But we have to still find a way to adapt and move on. And one of the things we say in my business and in our coaching business is those who survive thrive, right? So you're gonna have to weather the storms. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I like that. And those battle scars will be there. And again, to Matt's point, that transparency, right? Because it's so easy to talk about all the rainbows and butterflies, everything's great, and it's like, no, most times you're getting kicked in the dick and you're just trying to survive.
It's a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit, because I'm just curious now, taking it there, what made, I'm trying to think how I want to word this perfect. What makes, in your opinion, a market like South Florida work, whereas Vegas didn't? Like, what are some of those identifying factors?
Yeah, well, first of all, the way our business model works, because we're doing inbound and outbound marketing to distressed sellers, right? For our business model, what we found is having a good acquisition person, boots on the ground, is really the key to our success there. We've tried the virtual model in New York. We weren't successful. And it wasn't until we hired somebody who was trainable and we're able to coach them and teach them our way of doing acquisition sales, right? It's a very unique way of doing it. And when we found that person, we've performed really well. In Las Vegas, the person we had there just wasn't really, working to what we needed to do. And also, I think it was just a really large market, and we probably needed to invest a lot more money into marketing than we did. So the combination of not spending enough for marketing, because people don't understand it costs a lot of money to generate leads when it comes to marketing, especially
absolutely.
in a market like that. And then really having somebody who's doing acquisitions that really just wasn't coachable to our style, just didn't really equal success. Whereas when we went to Kansas, we had an acquisition guy that was really good and followed our method that made us more profitable than we should be. But we struggled from a marketing standpoint because like PPC didn't work really well there. SEO didn't work really well there. Cold calling didn't work really well there. And direct mail was okay, but it took a really long time for it to develop. So by the time we started getting some momentum, he was like, dude, I'm not making enough money. I got to go do something else. And it was like, damn it, only if we could have made another 90 days.
And you were right there.
We were right
on the
there.
edge of it.
And we tried to bring in somebody else, and that person wasn't a good fit.
That's interesting. So now flipping it to its head, what I love about you, again, is you see opportunities, you guys get after it. You and Shelly attack it. You put the time in. A lot of people are running from Florida right now. You're running towards Florida, it sounds like.
Florida.
What are you identifying in Florida? What's going on down there?
So, Florida is very unique in nature, right? So I think a lot of people are still moving to Florida. Florida is overall still very affordable from a national perspective as far as housing pricing, and there's obviously a lot of land still available. But it's very local market specific. Obviously, you have the areas around the hurricanes that have been hit tragically over this past year. Last year in Fort Myers has been devastated, right? Eventually those will yield different results as far as opportunities, but right now nobody's really doing anything because everybody's battled wounded from there, and understandably so. Insurance is super high there right now, right? Yeah. Taxes are high there, but you can get single family houses in certain markets for like $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 here in the Northeast. That's unheard of, right? Yeah. And the rents are about the same. So you really have to identify what markets you're going to work in. They're not all great. I know like Port Richey, in some of those areas, they had so much building happen that once the interest rates came, they actually have too many properties on the market, which we don't see around here. But we large inventory down there, right? But then there's some other areas like Port St. Lucie, Vero Beach. We talked about it a little bit before this. Ocala, Jacksonville is still another good hot area. So there's a lot of opportunities in certain areas of Florida for sure. I love Florida. I will continue to work Florida going forward.
I love that. And I know we've looked at Florida. We've talked about it before, but it's definitely hard to navigate. And again, I think that's so impressive. You can go those different ones. You said something earlier about coaching. I think coaching's, I've told the story to someone on the phone the other day. It's not a surprise. We zoom out that last year as a company, we spent almost $100,000 on coaching and business development, and we tripled our portfolio.
Yeah.
And this year, we're probably going to spend somewhere from half to maybe double that. I don't know what's going to shake out. And we're probably going to double, if not triple in size again. Yeah. I ask people who are into this for coaching, because I always think it's a very controversial topic. Where do you come down on coaching? I think I know the answer, but I want to get your take on it.
So, obviously, I come across bias because I have my own coaching program. We started REI Freedom Coaching about a year ago. And honestly, I was apprehensive to do it. I never thought I'd be a coach. There's a lot of gurus and coaches in this business that are complete turnoffs to me. And a lot of the coaching atmosphere is kind of a turnoff to me. But I'm a big believer in coaching myself. I've always seeked out coaching. Originally how Shelly and I started was, we bought a wholesaling course back in 2016 through Tom Kroll. We paid $5,000, and we spent another $6,000 in marketing. That $11,000 is what jump-started my career in off-market real estate, right? We got our first deal in 90 days here in Manchester, went on to do another 10 deals that year, but it wasn't enough, right? And then I had to keep seeking coaching. In those first 3 years, I was like actively trying to find coaching to help me get better. And I came across like Todd Toback, which was great for sales. Then finally came across Chris Noggle that taught me about private lending, because I realized, man, I'm giving all these deals away. If I could just find out how to use other people's money, I could start really making more money. Went out and found a coach. All the coaches I have, they never came to me. I went out and looked for them. And as we stand here today, I think, we're north of like $350,000 in money spent on coaching and masterminds. I currently have a coach for my coaching business. I have a coach for my real estate business, and I have a coach for my CFO as a CFO to help me guide stuff because it's not a strong point of mine, financials. And the reason why we went from 0 to 450 plus off-market acquisitions as we stand here coming to the end of year 8 is because of great people on our team, but mostly because of coaching. Not just for me, but I've paid for coaching for a lot of my guys in my team to get them better as well.
How does that, because that's something we're looking at the soft skills. I thought of some of our staff right away.
Yeah.
How'd you get the buy-in? Obviously, you're a good leader. You guys have a good vision. What was it like getting coaching for people on your team to invest in them? Talk to me about it a little bit, because that's unique. Not a lot of leaders, give yourself credit. Not a lot of leaders and visionaries would do that.
Yeah.
And you saw that values, and you pulled that trigger. What was that like?
I just believe if you're not growing, you're dying, right? So you always have to be getting better. And, I trained my guys. It really started with my acquisition guys. We had the guy in New York and the guy here in New Hampshire, and I trained them as far as I could go, and they were doing a good job, but I just wanted to get better. Mm-hmm. And it's like, all right, well, what am I going to do? And that's when I had to go out and seek some coaching. And, brought us to Dan Toback eventually. And before that, we were doing some training with Cody Hoffine out in Utah. I always wanted my guys to get better acquisition training because I felt like if I continue to get them coached, they're commission-based anyway. So the more deals they do, the more money they make, the more company makes, right? I'm happy to invest in you. You just put in the time and energy to take that, what you're being coached, and apply it to your day-to-day in the business. And they did. And it paid off really, really well. And with my CFO coach, works hand in hand with my business manager, who started out as a part-time bookkeeper. And Shelly's like, hey, you need to have her be a more of an active role. And now she's like our day-to-day, manager of our business and helps a lot of that stuff. But she works hand in hand with the CFO, and the two of them work together to help us be as profitable as we can be in this business.
So you've brought that up a few times. Are you guys using like a fractional CFO, a full-time CFO?
Yeah, fractional.
Okay, all right, that's awesome. Yeah, that's something we're in the process of looking at a controller right now.
It's been a game changer for us. I don't know if it would work for your business model, but for us, it's worked out very well.
Yeah, no, we were going back and forth on a few roles, and it's something that you guys sound like you're kind of in that spot too that we've gone through the last year and we're still in. And I tell people all the time, right? You make this transition from real estate investor to business owner to then hopefully get back to just being investor, like on a board seat.
Yeah.
But what has that transition been like for you guys and your team?
It's been a roller coaster ride, Again, I've had to seek coaching to become a business owner, right? Like I can go out and lock up deals, I can wholesale, but to be a business owner, like I can be a leader, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm a good business owner. I don't really know great X's and O's. Obviously, Mike, you're a very smart guy when it comes to the numbers and stuff like that. And, I have my strengths in certain areas, but, there's certain areas when it comes to that stuff, that's not a strength of mine, right? I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at leading people. I'm good at problem solving. And I'm good at building a community. But when it comes to running a business and hiring people, I've had some great hires. I've had some shitty ones as well, right?
So have we.
Yep, we have too.
Isn't that the best? What's it? Slow to hire, fast to fire?
Yeah. Hire slow, fire fast, right? And, those have been some struggles. But, it's been tough. And I'm still a student of it. I'm trying to get better with it. I've had some people that have been part of our business a long time, which I think has helped. We've had some turnover as well. I don't mind being a business owner, but when you're a business owner, it's hard to really be involved in a lot of the niches of the business, right? Because you have to look at everything at a 50,000-foot view now because you're looking at the bigger picture. And when we were scaling multiple markets, I was spread really thin. So the fact that we've actually kind of pulled it back a little bit has me a little bit more involved in day-to-day stuff. Not that I have to be, but I kind of want to be. And sometimes I have to be, but not, before I felt like I got too detached too fast. And I started seeing a lot of holes within my business as a result of it. I was trying to delegate, trying to hire for this and everything else, but I probably wasn't training everybody properly as good as, that quickly. So,
yeah, I'm sure we can relate to those pain points.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of those things, like if you're coming from like a big Starbucks or a big corporation, they have a whole team that literally trains the processes to everybody.
Right.
When you're a small business owner, you have to figure out how to train everybody to do your business, which is very awkward to do.
Yeah, we always call it the playbook, right? The SOPs, and it's ever evolving. Like we're going through a phase right now where we're building out our SOPs again. So basically we split the company into the management company, the asset holding company, and then we're sitting above it like almost like in a C-suite for acquisitions and capital. Well, now you need 3 playbooks and 3 scorecards and 3 ways to evaluate. Because like you said, like when you get so removed, you're the visionary. You're what made it click. But to grow it, you have to you have to give that up, and it's a very hard transition.
It is a hard thing, and it's, Shelley can relate to that. It's been really hard for her in a lot of aspects because she was a very part of all of that, and we had to delegate and give up that in order to grow. And some of it bit us in the ass. And you think of like a plumber, right? A plumber could have his own business, and he's technically a business owner, but if he doesn't work, there's no business, right? Because he's the guy. But when you start hiring people that do the work, whether you're there or not, that is truly being a business owner.
Yep.
And those are 2 very different things, and running two very different types of businesses, right? And we were growing a business where, and we still can, we can go away, right? But what we saw is over time, our business would either stay flat or slowly decline, right? I wanted to grow a business where when we left, it would continue to grow. We've yet to reach that. So we still have some work to do on that aspect.
Well, I think you're definitely going to get it. And that a perfect segue into kind of what I want to ask next. You've got all this awesome stuff going on. Take us 5 years in the future. What does it look like for Jeremy and Shelley and REI Freedom? What does that look like ideally?
Well, I can tell you, it will be somewhere warm, not New Hampshire.
God bless you. Let's get the hell out of here.
Already started snowing yesterday.
I was like, why the hell are we here? Kids, hurry up and grow.
Yeah.
No, so we'll be definitely somewhere warm. I think it's going to be a lot of the same. The coaching business will continue to grow. The longer we've gone into it, the more I realize it's something that I feel like it's my way to pay it forward for people. Obviously, it drives revenue for us, to be 100% transparent to people watching. But, back in 2009 and 2010, for the people that know my story, like I lost everything in the Great Recession. And it was Bernie Cox. I don't know if you know him. He's an investor up in Concord. He was a guy who came and short saled my house and prevented me from going to bankruptcy and foreclosure, which at 33 years old, I went into the military to basically get a new start in life. Right? Brink of losing everything, went into military and basic training with a bunch of 17-year-old kids. If it wasn't for that real estate investor, I wouldn't be here today. He was a guy who came in and gave me a reset button in life. That was my first off-market deal. I was the distressed, motivated seller. Didn't even know it.
You were on the other side of
that. I was on the other
Yeah.
side, right? So my business, from a wholesaling side and buying houses direct from sellers, we've been able to do that in many states now, hundreds and hundreds of times over. But I've been able to pay that forward because good people fall in hard times, right? Well, 1 or 2 life decisions from being at that position, 1 or 2, life events, right? Like the Great Recession, or, maybe economy collapsing, or you work for a W-2 and your company goes upside down and you can't find a job. Well, that happens to the best of people. So we're able to help those people over and over again. Now I can train people to take my business model to their own places, build a life of freedom on their own while helping the community. So become more and more passionate with that. So we're going to continue to grow that. And then, we're going to continue to buy and hold properties. I don't know if we'll ever do the syndication you guys do, because that is a full-time commitment. I looked into that when I was in John Kasman's coaching, and I don't know if it's for us yet. But we're going to continue to evolve and grow as real estate investors. We're going to buy and hold as many properties as we can. We're buying some single-family turnkeys down in Jackson, Mississippi right now. We think that's going to be a high appreciating market in years to come because Amazon's going there, and you can buy houses there turnkey for like $80,000 that rent out
insane.
for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400.
That is insane.
And one of them is a police officer and a husband who's renting it from us, right? So that's the type of tenants you're getting. We'll continue to grow our, off-market acquisition business as well, but we'll probably just stay up here in New England and Florida unless a great opportunity comes with a rock star somewhere else, and we'll explore that at that time.
I absolutely love it. Where can people get a hold of you, Jeremy, and learn more about you?
Best way to go is to reifreedom.com. We're all over the social media, Jeremy Beland, but REI Freedom will get you to my podcast, my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube, you name it. That's where it would be.
That's awesome. All right, you got any last things before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. I know he's a busy man, so I'll let him go.
I know. Listen, I can't thank you enough for being here.
I
So much
appreciate it,
value. And again, reifreedom.com. Check it out. Can't recommend this guy enough. And as always, bet on yourself.